What's going on, everyone? John Matrix here. Recently, the Devs of Hunt Showdown put out some information about damage, distance, fall off, and penetration, so I wanted to make a video going over that. And they added an update to the roadmap, so I wanted to go over that as well. So, let's get on in it. So you can see here, this chart they put out shows the travel speed of the various bullets and the maximum distance the various bullets go. 300 meters seems to be the maximum distance in the game before any kind of bullet just simply disappears. Compacts, you can see here, they travel at 375 meters a second. Medium goes 500 meters a second. Long ammo, 800 meters a second. Shotguns, 450 meters a second. And the Nitro Express, 610 meters a second. The Nitro travels a maximum distance of 280 meters. Shotguns travel a maximum distance of 45 meters. And the rest of the ammo travels a maximum distance of 300 meters. Damage each bullet can cause decays over the distance. The rate of this decay for each type can be seen in the first graph. The second graph shows how damage decays when bullet penetrates surfaces. So this is the first graph they're talking about here. And up here at the top, this is the maximum damage essentially each ammo type can do. And down here is where the damage falls off to nothing. Compact ammo is in red, medium ammo is in blue, long ammo is green, shotgun ammo is this lighter blue, and the nitro is this orange. So as you can see here, basically shotguns just under 10 meters, probably around like 7 to 8 meters or so, is where shotguns do their maximum damage. And it has a steady fall off up to 20 meters, and pretty much beyond 20 meters, shotguns basically do 0 damage. What's interesting to me here is the nitro itself, being it actually has the highest damage per bullet in the game, yet it's actually pretty close as far as range goes. It's a pretty close range weapon for what you need to get the maximum damage. Basically around 25-ish or so meters is where the maximum damage starts to fall off on it. At 60 meters, it's doing a little less than half its normal damage. And then at 100 meters, it's doing, you know, quite a bit of a damage drop off there at 100 meters. Compact ammo, that's kind of not really surprising because this is the weakest ammo type. Compact ammo is basically, you know, the Winfield and the starting Caldwell pistols and the Nagant pistols. Again, so the nitro, the compact, and the medium ammo type weapons. Their maximum damage is just above 20 meters. The compact drops off basically after about 30 meters is where its main damage drop off is. It's pretty steady from 30 meters down to about 50 meters, and then from 50 meters to 70 meters it's not quite as drastic, but beyond 70 meters it looks like compact ammo is pretty useless. And then medium ammo from here, again, just above 20 meters is where it gets its maximum damage. 40 meters is where its damage drop-off starts to happen. It's not quite as drastic as the nitro or the compact is. So medium ammo actually might be the most efficient ammo type in the game until you get to the Mosin and possibly the uppercut. The reason I say that is just because the Sparks, because of its long reload time and it's a single shot weapon, it's not quite as efficient. So Sparks is meant to be a one shot, one kill kind of weapon, but against tier 3 hunters, it usually takes more than one shot. So medium ammo until you get the Mosin unlocked or the Caldwell uppercut pistol unlocked, so like the Carbiner and the Dolch might be more efficient to go instead of. And I personally like the Dolch over the Caldwell uppercut anyway. Just because of its rapid fire potential. With the damage it does, I think it's a much better gun to use. And plus, you can have a precision version of it, making it much more accurate. So the precision version of the Dolch is actually one of the best, if not potentially, in my opinion, best overall ranged weapon in the game until you can get the Mosin at its higher damage. So medium ammo, you know, just above 20 meters here is where its maximum damage potential is. And it actually stays pretty steady until about 40 meters, and then that's where its drop-off is. And its maximum potential, or not its maximum potential, but its potential for damage drops off basically after 80 meters. Does roughly half its damage at 80 meters. The Carbiner is the only weapon I know of that we've seen actual damage numbers for. At maximum damage, it does 100 hit points worth of damage per bullet if you hit someone in the chest, I believe. We haven't, as far as I know, I have not seen any other damage numbers for any of the other weapons. If any of you guys out there have seen that or know where a chart is for that, you know, if you could link me that, I would love to see that and see what the actual damage numbers are. But from a lot of the searching and some of the research that I've done, that information's not out there. So the only weapon that I know of that we've seen is the Carbiner, and it does 100 damage at, you know, its maximum potential, which is a little above 20 meters. And so then basically at 80 meters is where it does half its normal damage. So at about 80 meters, it's doing roughly 50 damage. So for a tier 3 hunter who has 150 HP, if you manage to hit them, you know, at that 80 meters, it's going to take, you know, roughly 3 shots to kill someone that's a tier 3 hunter with a Carbiner. So that's the only real kind of damage number comparison for distance that I know of, because that's the only number I know of for sure. And then over here, the long rifle, well, long ammo, not necessarily just long rifle ammo, but this is the Mosin Caldwell Uppercut and the Sparks. Its maximum damage potential is roughly 40 meters, maybe slightly above 40 meters. And basically, long rifle ammo looks like it's double the damage and distance potential of the medium ammo. You know, the damage drop off of the medium ammo starts at 40 meters. That's where the maximum potential of the long rifle ammo is. I don't know why I keep saying long rifle, but the long ammo maximum potential here starts at about 40 meters. Its drop off begins at 80 meters. Its big drop off begins at 80 meters anyway. And then at 100 meters, it seems that it says right here from a distance of 100 meters to 300 meters, there's no extra fall off damage. Basically, after 100 meters, that's what the maximum damage potential is. And from what they said up here, it looks like maximum distance is 300 meters. So after 300 meters, I'm assuming that means the bullets, essentially, the server doesn't pay attention to the bullet anymore. It essentially just disappears. That's the damage distance fall off. And then they have a chart right here for penetration fall off. So up here is where the different weapons do the maximum amount of damage. And it falls off for the number of items that I can, or objects essentially, that I can penetrate. So again, the same graph applies here. Compact in red, medium dark blue, long green, shotgun ammo light blue, and the nitro is in the orange. And it's kind of interesting how many things some of these ammo types can actually penetrate before they really start having a lot of damage fall off. But it also depends, I guess, on the distance. You know, if let's just use compact ammo for the first, for as an example here. So compact ammo, again, just above 20 meters is where it starts to lose its maximum potential for damage. So then you add that into the equation of, you know, it can go through essentially 2 objects, and then that loses, 20% of its maximum potential. So within, 20 meters, it can penetrate 2 objects and only lose 20% of its damage, essentially. And, as it goes through more objects, it loses less. But basically, the compact ammo and the shotguns cannot penetrate more than 3 objects. Medium ammo can go to 5 objects before it loses its damage potential. Nitro can go up to 8 objects, but essentially its damage potential pretty much stops at about 6 objects. It can go up to 8 and still do some damage, but it's the drop off isn't quite as steady. And then the long ammo, its maximum ends at 7. It does no damage at 7 objects penetrated. So I mean, it's interesting information about how many objects you can shoot through. I don't know how many scenarios it's really going to apply to anything, but yeah. So there's some information for you guys to look through about when you're trying to shoot someone through walls and objects, just think about how far away you are from someone, before you're trying to shoot someone, because it really might not be worth it trying to shoot someone inside a shed or a building or something like that. You may just essentially be giving away your position and not actually really doing any kind of damage to them. The information that I would be interested to see is what kind of damage multiplier headshots still have through objects that get penetrated. Is it still, a one-shot headshot when you shoot someone through, a wall at certain ranges, or how much of a diminishing return does that have, essentially. So another interesting thing here is they're talking about where to aim. The most important takeaway from all of this for players is that you need to aim in front of moving targets. Obviously, you need to lead. How far in front of a target you have to aim depends on your weapon's ammo, the distance to the target, and your target's speed. So when you aim at a hunter 100 meters away who is running from left to right, take note, with a long bullet, the most, and essentially anything that takes long ammo, you need to aim roughly 0.56 meters in front of the target in order to hit the center of the target. With a medium bullet, basically the carabiner, anything that takes medium ammo, you need to aim roughly 0.9, basically a meter in front of the target in order to hit the center of it. With a compact bullet, Winfield, anything compact ammo, you need to aim roughly 1.2 meters in front of the target in order to hit the center of the target. So those are for people who are running from left to right, not walking. So when someone's walking from left to right, you don't need to lead them as much. With a long bullet, you need to aim roughly 0.3 meters in front of the target. With a medium bullet, you need to aim roughly half a meter in front of a target. And with compact bullets, you need to aim roughly just above a half meter above the target, 0.66 meters in front of the target. So, yeah, just keep that in mind. Obviously, if someone is moving faster from left to right, you need to compensate and aim a little bit more, as opposed to someone who's walking from left to right. So the last thing I want to go over here in this video is they updated their roadmap. They've added some new things in here that are supposed to be coming to the test server pretty soon. And some of this stuff in here has also been delayed. So just starting off here, as you can see here, nightmare missions have been delayed. So either it's going to come in potentially patch 2 or another patch in between. But they're planning on adding fall damage to the game, which they added in the new blog or whatever. That's something coming to the test server. It'll be interesting to see how that affects the game. I don't really think it's going to be that big of a deal as long as the fall damage isn't like super drastic. Basically just, I think, going to keep people from being able to jump off, like the church. There's a lot of people that camp on the roof of the church and just jump off and run around without taking any damage. So I think it'll kind of detract from people being able to camp on top of buildings quite as much. And not give them an easy out by being able to just essentially jump off the top of a building without taking any kind of penalty for it. For those of you that like to sit on top of buildings, you'll have to kind of think about your positioning a little bit better. This one I think is kind of gonna be the most interesting thing, is they have clue defenders. Additional AI will be spawned around clues. So I'm interested to see exactly what that is and what that's going to affect in the game. So sounds like there's going to be some kind of new monster type, obviously, that's going to camp the clues. So is that something, because like one of the gameplay things that a lot of people like to do is they like to camp the clues, and they like to wait for people to come up and try to get the clue, and as they're picking up the clue, they shoot them in the head and kill them. Easy kills. So is that something they're adding to deter from that? If someone is in a certain radius around the clue, is that new AI monster going to, actively seek them out and try to kill them? So it's going to make people camping the clues harder. Is it going to be like a mini boss situation? Kind of like, something that's similar to the meatheads that guard the clues? Is it going to be something that's difficult to kill? Because if it is, then that's going to make going after the clues that much more dangerous, and going to make it harder for people to just farm clues for money and to leave. And then again, is it going to be a situation where if you kill those things, is it going to give you more money? How much XP is it going to get? So that's going to be interesting to see how this affects the game. Because it could affect the game quite a bit, or it could just be, some new zombie type that's not necessarily something that's super difficult to kill, but it's just another obstacle in your way from being able to just run up, get the clue, and leave. New flash grenades coming in, so I think that's going to be a really good thing for people that are camping in buildings a lot. It's going to be another way for you to be able to, get in there and just clear buildings easier. It's also going to be something that's going to be good against, people who are in boss fights. If they're in there, attacking the boss, you're trying to get in there and kill them and then kill the boss so you can banish it and get those extra, points from something you can throw in there while they're distracted shooting the boss and kill them. It's going to be interesting also to see if those affect the bosses at all. Because you could sit there, if you could stun the butcher or the spider and keep them in a position, you can melee them down or burst them down with your weapons pretty quick. Poison grenades, so that's going to be cool. New type of poison damage. I mean, poison isn't really a huge status effect in this game, but if they're, in the middle of a fight, if you could sit there and keep people from being able to auto heal and force them to have to use their meds to heal instead of trying to draw out a fight and let the auto heal fill up their bar again, that's something that can add more pressure to a fight and make people use meds and just change up how certain dynamics of the fights can happen. And then they're going to add 12 new traits, which I haven't really gone over what those traits are yet. So it'll be interesting to see what those are in the patch notes. I'm curious if the dual wield trait for the pistols is going to be in this one. That's one of the traits that we've seen, or one of the things we've seen in a trailer. So I'm assuming it's going to be a trait because it's not in the game right now. And it'll be interesting to see. I don't think it'll work with it because fan the hammer, you need to have one hand to be able to sit there and keep fanning the hammer. But it'd be pretty crazy if you could sit there and, have, dual pistols and fan the hammer at the same time. That'd be pretty crazy. But, yeah, I mean, just think about the ability to dual wield, uppercut pistols, the ability to dual wield dulches, and to sit there and spam away at people. And it's going to be pretty strong. So, it'll be interesting to see if that's in, and I'm just curious to see what other traits they're going to add. And then there's some other quality of life things. Push to mute instead of just push to talk, so you can have your mic open and just push to mute if you want to. New stance indicator, so you can know when you're crouched or not. New breath indicator, that's going to be pretty good. I'm assuming that means, when you know that you're out of your movement stamina. So that'll be nice. Inventory slot refactoring. That'll be really nice because I want the ability to set specific keybinds to specific things. Like I want to have a specific button that I just push and it always goes to my my vitality shots or my med kit or whatever. And just for my heals, I want to hit a specific button to switch directly to my grenades. And right now the way the buttons are set up for the shortcuts is it's based on what slot it is, and it can change depending on the amount of gear and what kind of gear you have. So it's not always consistent. And then new bloodline screen, so a new menu screen for the bloodline. So some interesting stuff that's going to be coming here to the new test server. They haven't said when exactly that's going to be coming out on the test server, but it should be soon. Hopefully within the next week or two, we'll see some of these changes coming to the test server. Alright, well, that's going to do it for this one, guys. Just want to thank you guys for all your continued support. I know that the channel's been pretty slow recently here on YouTube. Up until the recent patch on Hunt Showdown, the game actually hadn't really been super enjoyable to play for me. I would get into matches and not find anyone, and basically just run around, find the clues, fight the boss, and leave. And it was kind of boring to make content for, and it was kind of boring to try to stream. But with the recent patch, I've been getting into games and actually seeing people and fighting people. People haven't been camping quite as much, and the game has been much more enjoyable recently. So things are going to pick up here again on the YouTube channel. But I appreciate all your guys' support and sticking with it here. We're up to 1,559 subscribers on the YouTube channel, and we keep growing every day. So thank you guys for the continued support. Thank you guys for sticking with me. And yeah, if you liked the video, feel free to like and subscribe the video. Feel free to comment down below in the comment section. All the links for all my stuff's going to be down below in the description. You can follow me on Twitter at JohnMatrix69. You can catch me live streaming over on twitch.tv/JohnMatrix69. The link to my Patreon channel, if you want to support me on Patreon, is there. And the link to the community Discord that I've got set up, which is open to everyone. So if you want to come in there and hang out, find some other people to play some Hunt Showdown with, Also, you know, I'm going to be doing some viewer games and sub games in Hunt Showdown, and you know, some various other games I play, PUBG, Fortnite, etc. So if you guys are interested in joining up with the community and playing some of that, just feel free to hop on the Discord server, and we'll be there. So thanks again, guys. Really appreciate your support. Love all of you, and I'll see you guys next time. Fucking hate the spider, dude. What else might be in here? What? Oh, I hate trying to kill this fucking spider on my own, dude. He fucking jumped on me. It'd be great if this fucking thing would just die. Fuck, dude.